This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, August the 26th, is a man who was a star runner for the Baltimore Ravens before moving to Cleveland. Played for the Browns, which was weird. But anyway, he was picked 5th overall in the 2000 NFL Draft by the Baltimore Ravens and played college football where Peyton Manning played, Tennessee. He would play a few years for Cleveland after spending 7 years with the Ravens. I wish it was more. But anyway, Jamal Lewis is 42 today. He was a rookie when the Ravens won the Super Bowl, and he helped them out. In fact, he had an outstanding 2003 season that saw him get 2,066 yards, which is third all time behind Eric Dickerson and Adrian Peterson. He actually ran for 295 yards in one game against the Browns, if memory serves me right. That was the record until Adrian Peterson beat him by 1 yard with 296. So Lewis was a good sprinter and all that. Then he went to Tennessee. As a freshman at Tennessee, he ran for 1,300 plus yards and 7 touchdowns, which was amazing. I mean, he looked good. Unfortunately, Lewis, after 5 games, missed the rest of the season with a torn collateral ligament, LCL, I guess. Missed the rest of the season. He only spent 3 years with Tennessee, but still did very good. He was an arts and science major at the University of Tennessee. And I guess he was on the team that won the national championship. Baltimore needed a good running back. Of course, that famous 2000 draft of Tom Brady. Jamal Lewis was picked 5th. The Ravens got the pick from Atlanta. Atlanta traded their first round pick to Baltimore for Baltimore's second round pick. So Baltimore needed Jamal Lewis. They were happy when Cleveland took Courtney Brown, and Washington picked up LeVar Arrington and Chris Samuels. The number 2 pick was the one that New Orleans gave up their first rounder for the one of one Ricky Williams. And San Fran traded their first round pick to Washington. Was that on draft day or something? I think so. So anyway, San Francisco traded Washington and they got Chris Samuels. Since he took Peter Warrick, who was kind of injury prone, but he was a decent wide receiver. And then came time to get Jamal Lewis. Baltimore needed him. He was the starting running back, overtaking Priest Holmes for that honor, and ran for over 1,300 yards. Lewis would run for a touchdown in Super Bowl 35 against the Giants and ran for 103 yards. In fact, he was only the second rookie ever to rush for more than 100 yards in a Super Bowl. I think Timmy Smith was the first one, and the youngest player to score a Super Bowl at 21 years old. Yikes. Unfortunately, Lewis would have to miss a season due to knee injuries in training camp. But in 2003, he came back with a vengeance. Boy, howdy did he come back with a vengeance. Lewis would hit 2,066 yards, missing Dickerson's mark by 40 yards. Lewis, for 9 years, was the second best. Had the second best rushing yardage until Adrian Peterson hit 2,097 in 2012, which actually missed Dickerson by 8 yards. However, Jamal Lewis would break Corey Dillon's single-game rushing record of 278 yards by running for 295 yards against the hapless Cleveland Browns. And Adrian Peterson broke that mark, running for 296 against the Chargers. The Ravens didn't want to put the franchise tag on Jamal Lewis after the 2005 season, making him an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. Many people thought that they wanted Jamal Lewis to move to another team before too long. But the Ravens did re-sign Lewis to a 3-year deal in 2006. Lewis seemed pretty well. February 28th of '07, he actually ended up leaving Baltimore. But Cleveland decided to snatch him up a week later, and he was the star running back. 1,340 yards in his first year as the Browns, which was good. Lewis would be dissatisfied by his teammates, making some weird statements. Lewis would retire after the 2009 season because he was on injury reserve. So in his short career, which only lasted like a decade, he ran for 10,607 yards. That's pretty good. He got the 10,000 mark. And he got 58 rushing touchdowns. He had 2,000-yard seasons with the Browns and probably would have had another one if it wasn't for injuries. In the postseason, he only had 6 postseason games, but he ran for 426 yards and 4 touchdowns. Lewis was in jail for 4 months in 2005 because of a drug deal, possessing cocaine and all that. Jamal Lewis was given a ring from Super Bowl 47 in 2013 because the Ravens owner said he was one of the best Ravens of all time. He had to sell it because of financial difficulties. And Jamal Lewis was suffering from post-traumatic concussions. So, yeah, I consider him the best Baltimore Ravens running back of all time. Definitely not Ray Rice. I mean, Ray Rice was good and all that. And it's not just because of the abuse he did on his girlfriend, or now wife. It's because Jamal Lewis was a key in the cog of the Ravens, and they needed him. Ray Rice they didn't really need. Baltimore just relied on their defense. But anyway, yeah, Jamal Lewis cannot be forgotten. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.